Hi everyone, Great Power 60 here. So I wanted to share with you 7 mistakes that I feel and discovered while I was decluttering, and I thought maybe I'd share them with you tonight. So let's get started right away. I don't want this to be too long. So one of the common problems with all of us is um, we declutter, we have piles of trash, piles to keep, and piles to donate. So we get rid of the trash, we keep and put away, and that donation box, like mine in the hall, they just sit there. Now, I put them right by the door because it could be sitting there for a year. The excuse I had the other day, well, one isn't quite full. See, there's an excuse, but I have to bring it to the car. I have to actually physically take it out of my apartment and put it in my car. And the biggest mistake we make is that we just leave it sitting there. And sometimes what happens, at least here in my home, my mom kind of looked through things and checked out some of the clothes. She kept a few and, and put the rest of them back. So if I had taken it right away, she wouldn't have had those tops. But it's great to get some ideas, but trying to, sort of, well, how come our home's like this and theirs is so clean? Or how come your different dynamics in your families, there's just me and mom. So that's, mistake number 2 that we make is that we either compare or try to make our homes like someone else's, or compare the way they live and how we should live. Mistake number 3 is not finishing the things that you start. It's a double-edged sword for me because I don't say I'm going to clean all my bedroom. I just take pieces of things and try and finish those. And if I don't finish them, that's okay. However, if I start a project and it takes too long to finish it, we're never going to finish it. And I'll give you a good example. I had cleaned out my room and fixed it up nice and had things out of here. But I still have a lot of craft stuff, and I had the shelf sitting in the hallway. And it was sitting there all week. And if I'd left it longer, I just don't like people walking into my home and seeing that mess. And finally, I had the feeling that I needed to fix it. And coming up with putting all the stuff under my bed, that was empty space, perfect place to hide it temporarily until I can sort through all of my craft stuff. But it got it out of the hall. So that was kind of finishing the project. So I started off cleaning my room and left the shelf, but I left it for a week. Now, that's not bad, but what if I had left it there for the next 2 months? That is something that's not good. That's a mistake that we make, is leaving things too long. So we really need to finish. Even though I'm talking baby steps, there are certain projects when you start something, you really need to finish it, because then you're just creating another mess or another clutter. For instance, again, you're cleaning out your kitchen drawers, you take everything out, you sort them all nice, and you've got a bunch of stuff sitting there, which I have, that you're not sure whether to get rid of, and you kind of sort through it, but that you're going to do later. So you leave it. Well, if 3 months later it's still sitting there, you're not finishing it. So that's kind of a mistake that we make. So that's mistake number 3, not finishing a project when we start it. We should finish it. It just break it down into smaller groups, and then it doesn't seem so unattainable. Number 4. A lot of times we think that we have to wait until we're motivated to do something. We have to wait for the proper time. We have to wait until the house is empty and everybody's gone out, or that everybody's in bed, which I tend to do late at night when mom's in bed. So, when you feel like doing something, just do it. If you're sitting there and you're having, a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or whatever, and you're looking at your bookcase and you're saying, oh, I should clean that bottom shelf. Well, you've said it. Just get up and do it. Just the bottom shelf. You don't have to do it all. Just sort through it and go back and have your coffee and finish. And then you've started and finished a mini project. The mistake that we make is, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. When you have 5 minutes right now, just do it. Just do it and get it done. Pampering ourselves or patting ourselves on the back when we've accomplished something, even if it's small, even if nobody else notices. You know, you want to keep the positive energy in yourself. You want to keep feeling good about the littlest thing, you know, even if it's just a drawer, even if it's just making your bed every day so that when, you know, you come into your room, it's not a mess. Because making your bed definitely makes your room look great. Even if there's clutter, like mine has got, you know, all my craft stuff on this side of my room. My bed is made. My bed is made, my room looks good. So that makes me feel good. When I walk into my room, my bed is made, I've accomplished something for that day, and I feel really good. And I'll take a break. So I did all of my work. I pampered myself by taking the weekend off and enjoying what I've done. Not thinking negative what I still have to do. Not thinking negative of whatever. I'm thinking, this is great. You know, you don't even have to think negative that, you know, well, nobody notices what I'm doing. They will notice eventually. They will notice. Because if it's kept up over and over again, pat yourself on the back. Have a glass of wine, put your feet up, have a bath, put the candles on, do whatever. But, you know, congratulate yourself and pamper yourself. That is what I consider, you know, that we don't do. So that's a mistake that we make when we're decluttering. An example, look at my room. I have all of my craft stuff in no particular order. I had taken it off the shelf. Now, I don't think that I have to sort all of that and put them in proper boxes and have it lined up nicely under there. No, I have taken it off the shelf and put it under there. That's a task that's done. My hall is clean. Yes, I'm going to have to get to it. But I don't have to do it all in one night. I don't have to, you know, start something and do it all in one, you know, all at once. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. So that's another mistake that we make, thinking that, you know, when we start something, we have to finish the whole thing. We don't have to finish the whole thing. You've done part of it. That's great. That's, you know, that's bonus, bonus, bonus. Unattainable goals. Depending on what you have decided that you wanted to do, you set yourself goals. Well, be reasonable with them. For instance, as my example, we're moving the 1st of May or the end of April. That's certainty now. So I have given myself January, February, March, and April, 4 months. 4 months to declutter my home. I think it's attainable because I would say, a good third of the way through for what I want to do. I'm 1/3 of the way, and I've been decluttering for about 3 weeks. So if you set unattainable goals, you're going to fail. And if you're going to fail, you're going to be depressed. There's negative thoughts going to come in. You know, nobody's helping you. You don't, you know, and you go down and down and down on yourself. The whole idea of decluttering is to build your spirits and make you feel great. So when you set goals, set them reasonably. You know, don't say that, you know, you're going to clear out the garage this weekend. You might not be able to. Things might come up. You might have to do things. Other things come into play. Who knows? You go in there, you discovered some things, and then you get sidetracked to do something else. Then you have to leave, and then you come back, and you don't feel like doing it. So, you know, Just say, okay, we've got to clean out the garage. Let's do it in 4 weekends. And that way you can sort of, you know, split your garage into 4 sections, and then you do 1 section at a time, 1 weekend. And if you don't do it all in 1 weekend, go to the next weekend. And if you don't do it by then, but if you want to have it clean by a certain time, give yourself a reasonable goal to set. The real reason for decluttering usually is because it's untidy and you're unhappy with the way things are. Create habits. Create some habits. And I'll be talking about creating some habits in another video. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.